In this RCM Roundup, I talk about why I went back to school to obtain my bachelor's degree after becoming a certified medical biller and coder. I also touch on whether I think it's truly worth it to obtain advanced degrees such as master's and doctorate degrees. Check it out. They really want to see that I have a bachelor's, because if I don't, then they're going to use that as leverage to not pay me what I deserve. Now, side note, realistically speaking, I've had conversations at this point in my career with people who had bachelor's and master's degrees. They really weren't that much smarter than me. But the industry dictated that if I wanted to apply for certain positions, I would need to at least have a 4-year degree or better. So I made the decision to go back to school and do my undergrad. Around the same time that I made the decision to do my undergrad, I started getting the entrepreneur bug. I started being asked to collaborate on different projects outside of work for medical providers who needed help with different issues. And I began to feel like, hey, I really feel like I can grow a business from this. And right around the time that I started my undergrad program, I started the path of what would now be beyond RCM, revenue cycle management. I found my entire journey of doing my undergrad degree very fascinating. The reason that I found it very fascinating was there were a lot of courses that was geared towards strategy, planning, building a business, marketing. And those were all things that I was experiencing in real time as I was growing this business. So unlike my associate's degree, which I kind of felt like, let's just go in and get this over with. When I did my undergrad degree, there were literally things that I would take from what I was learning and test it and apply it to this company that I was growing. And I found that to be completely exciting. Once I finished my undergrad degree, my business began to pick up at the same time. And I want to say within about a year of graduating, I was able to leave the part-time job that I was working at the time, because at one point I had to work part-time for an organization. Shout out to that organization, Public Health Solutions. And I was also working my business. But once my business got to the point where, so literally, let's back that up. Working part-time, growing a business, going to school. And we're not even talking about being a wife and a mom. There was a lot going on back then. But once my business got to the point where it started to pick up significantly and I could no longer split my time between the two, I eventually had to make the decision to leave my part-time job and pursue my business full-time. And, that first 1.5 to 2 years was very scary because I had to learn to do more with less. With the understanding of if I keep chipping away at this, eventually it's going to pay off. And eventually the business did become financially sustainable. It did become profitable. And I've been pretty much working as the owner and a consultant, the head consultant of this organization ever since. Now, when it comes to caring for my career, I have contemplated with the idea of going back to school and doing my master's. However, every time I say, okay, I'm going to do a program, I can't quite bring myself there. And I'm going to be very honest, and I am not saying this in any way to be cocky, but there are people with masters and PhDs in this industry that don't know as much as I do. My career has been able to thrive as a result of several different factors. I definitely think that the undergrad degree for me, and I'm just speaking for myself, everyone's journey is different. I definitely think the undergrad degree for me was necessary because it helped me build the foundation of this business that I am privileged to be able to lead today. However, I find more value at this point in my career in doing continuing education in areas that help to sustain my career. Areas like healthcare law. I did a 9-month program with Mitchell Hamlin School of Law to better understand healthcare law and compliance. I've done certification programs with AHIMA. I've done certification programs with AAPC. I find these programs to be more beneficial because they address a lot of the here and now issues that are relevant to my career. The other component that has made me very successful in my career is obviously my experience, being exposed to it, getting on the phone, rolling my sleeves up, having to be exposed to all these different problems that we have to solve. Experience is one of the greatest teachers. You can't put a price on it. So in addition to my formal education during my undergrad, in addition to my certifications that I take on a continual basis, I'm always attending webinars, trainings, because I always want to be relevant as long as I am actively working in this career. But also my experience has played a vital role in me being able to stay current, stay sharp, and remain an asset in the industry to the organizations that we work with.